This is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. You listen to the XY show, and I think you'll really enjoy it. If you don't, oh well.
The opinions expressed on the X and Y show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to the XY show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt. And this is another special recording for the holidays. This is the New Year's. I wasn't even sure I was going to do this, but I decided to rap to you before the holidays end. I just couldn't let it end without me saying something to you. So I decided to do a little quick episode to rap to you a little bit, kind of sum up this fucked up year that we had, and just send it on its way, because it's really been a fucked up year. I hope that we never go through anything like this again. And, that's all I can say. But anyway, this is a special recording. And then next week, return back to regular recording, releasing new episodes on Fridays. So stay tuned to that. Some really great episodes coming up, stuff I want to talk about, and stuff that I'm sure that you would enjoy. So keep tuned to the XY show. Some great things to come. So, how was your Christmas? I know mine was a little different this year. It wasn't the same, obviously. It just wasn't the same. We got together, but it was, not many of us, because we were trying to stay in compliance with the recommendations. So it wasn't that many of us, and it was just something real quick. We pretty much we ate dinner, watched a little television, and went home. It was real fucked up. Of course, I was drinking my little drink, but it just wasn't the same, at least for me. Maybe some of you. It's the same thing. You didn't notice anything different, probably because you was not in compliance with what they were recommending. But for me, it was totally different. The whole season. Usually, for those of you who've been listening to XY show, when it gets to September, I start getting excited. Halloween is coming. The festivities start then. With me. That's the only good thing about living in Miami, is the social scene. So in September, it's not as hot. It's still hot as fuck, but it's not as hot. And, you got Halloween to look forward to, some parties going on. And once you get to October, and then, once you get to October, you eclipse in, here comes Thanksgiving. And, you're just in the holiday mood. You start going out with your friends and start going out for drinks, and it starts getting a little bit more cooler. It's not as hot. And, Thanksgiving hit, and then, of course, you have the mega, my favorite, Christmas. And my birthday is in November as well. By the way, if you want to send me a birthday gift next year, DM me and I will give you my birthday. Because, for some reason I didn't get anything. So I'm attributing to that you guys didn't know when my birthday was. But that's cool. Just DM me. I'll let you know. And next year I would expect a little something from all of my listeners to show that you love me. After, my birthday and then Thanksgiving comes and then Christmas, you're going out shopping, you're going out with your friends, drinking, just having a good time, a merry time, up to Christmas and then New Year's, of course. I don't celebrate New Year's like I used to when I was younger. When I was younger, I had to be out, had to be at some party or whatever. But now I got to be in. Shit. There's too many crazy motherfuckers out there. And I don't want to have to put a cap in somebody. So I just stay in and, have my own little New Year's here. I'm going to be drinking, so I don't want to be getting a DUI anyway. And I know I can Uber and all that shit, but I'm not going out this year with all this pandemic shit going around. So, usually that's how my year go. I love from September to, really February. The holidays, I love this time of year. It's a little cooler and people are more happy and it's just fun doing things with your friends and it's just a good time of year. But we didn't get to do that this year because it's been so fucked up with this COVID and, the pandemic and it's just been a fucked up year all around. So I just want to talk about it real quick, because I don't need to reiterate something that we all know. 2020 was fucked up. Of course, mainly because of the pandemic, coronavirus. And I don't know about you, but it has really taught me to appreciate what I have more. Let me elaborate on that. It taught me to appreciate, the things that are really important in life a little bit more. I always, like anyone else, we tend to take things for granted sometimes, even family. And so, this is this fucked up, event that we're all going through. It has taught me to appreciate my family even more. It has taught me to appreciate life even more, my health. I've been blessed to not have lost employment. There's so many people out there suffering. So it just taught me to be more appreciative to what I have, the things that I usually take for granted. And that's something that I will definitely try not to do again in the future years. Take things for granted anymore. That's so difficult. When you always have them in front of you, have things in front of you, sometimes it's easy to take them for granted until you lose them. Like so many people have lost family members. So many people have lost their jobs. People can't buy food for their families. I'm talking about the happy things about going out, but people have been suffering. Some have been suffering since March, April, May. People have been suffering without work and they going to food banks and can't provide food for their families. They don't have jobs, and it's just a very bad time for a lot of people. So, it always could be worse. I've been blessed. Like I said, I didn't lose my job or anything. My family's okay, but a lot of families aren't. So we can't forget that people are suffering. Even though you're doing okay, you're doing fine, you ought to remember that people are suffering and see what you can do to make the situation better. Speaking of that, I'm going to look into food banks and see if I can volunteer some of my time in giving out food to the needy. Just it's been a really eventful year. We got a new president. For those of you who don't know, Donald Trump is no longer the president of the United States. It is Joe Biden now, and he would take the reins over January 20th of 2021. That's going to be the beginning of a new beginning. That's what I see. And that's a good thing. But there's a lot of bad things in this year, of course, besides the pandemic, the coronavirus. Mr. Floyd, George Floyd, he got killed by police. That's just one person. And, you remember the riots, not the riots, the protests that were going on and in his honor. And, I did a couple of shows talking about that and saying that, it probably, people are marching now, but it's really not going to do anything, and it really hasn't. There's been other police shootings and murders and stuff like that. So, nothing still has changed in that way. But, I guess you still have to have hope, hoping that it'll get better, It's been an eventful year. We have, it's with the protests and the political circus that's going on with the change of presidents and all of this controversy about this bullshit, about the election not being legitimate and all this shit all going on. Just all this shit going on and looking at that race, I'm thinking like all of the things that Donald Trump has done. And, it's like 71 million people voted for Donald Trump. So, that even though he lost the electoral vote and he lost the popular vote, but still 71 million people, that's like 48% of the United States, that actually voted for him. That was a wake-up call for me. I really, if you heard one of my earlier shows, I thought the election was going to be a landslide. Joe Biden was going to win so easily. It was not going to be any contestment. It's going to be over by 9:00. But obviously I was wrong. And 71 million people. That was a wake-up call for me. I was naive enough to believe that it wouldn't have been that close. So that was a wake-up call for me. That tells me that it's still, we have a long way to go in this country as far as racial relations go. So that's one thing I can definitely thank Donald Trump for. He really brought to light, the racial tension and the racism that exists in this country. That people refuse to believe, and some people still believe that it doesn't exist. So that's one thing I can thank him for. He brought that shit to light very clear. Stevie Wonder could see it. So we still have a long way to go. Very eventful year. Very eventful year. A lot of people have died because of the pandemic, all of the deaths, all of the celebrities that have passed away. Just today, Dawn Wells, for those of you who have watched Gilligan's Island, Marianne, which was the better looking one as far as I'm concerned. She was better than Ginger. But Marianne, she just passed today. And I just say that because she just passed today. I'm recording this show and she just passed. There's been numerous others, countless others, who has passed, not just because of coronavirus, but just we lost them. And a lot of people have gone to the next plane, and that's another reason why I say, we should appreciate what we have. We should appreciate the people that we love while they're here, and don't, cry and sending 3,000 flowers at their funerals when they can't see it. They can't hear it. It's too late. So, that's something. If you want to make a New Year's resolution of the next year, do that. Say that you're not going to take, the people that you love for granted. You're going to appreciate what you have, and I think if everyone do that, it'll be a better place. Everyone will just be more appreciative of what they have and not taking the loved ones for granted, not taking life for granted, and just enjoying life and treating others as you would like to be treated. And I think if everyone do that, this would be a better world. This would be a better place. And, 2020 was fucked up, with all the things going on in politics and all the things going on with the pandemic and just everything with people passing, the celebrities and just people that you may have known, people in your families. Just been a terrible year. For the state of Louisiana, there was 5 named storms to hit the state. So a lot of people lost their homes. Some people were killed. It's just been fucked up. And, I never seen a year this bad. So I'm really, usually, I don't hurry up the holidays along because I love that time of year. I love during the holidays. Everyone is more happy and merry and everybody's drinking. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people drinking and having a good time. A lot of people are fucking. Just a lot of people are more happy. And usually I don't wish that time away, but this year I really was wanting to get through the holidays. I wanted to get through this time so we can get past it, get past this year and get to a much better place on this planet. And that's what 2021 brings. 2021 brings a new chance. It brings hope that there will be a change. We have to look at the new year in an optimistic sort of way. It can't be as fucked up as 2020. It can't. There's no way it would be that fucked up. I refuse to believe it. 2021 will be better. I promise. You have to promise yourself. You have to believe it, and it will happen. So, that's really all I want to say to you. I just wanted to rap to you a little bit. I want to reiterate to remember, this was a fucked up year. Everybody's going through it. I mean, some worse than others. And I hope everyone has learned something from it. I hope, I've learned, I told you what I've learned, not to take my family for granted and not to take life for granted. I hope everyone has learned something. I hope you learned something from this year. If it's a bad thing, if you learn something from it, then it will always not nothing. And so I hope you learned something from it. And I hope that what you learn, you carry on to the next year. And so it'll be much better. So with that said, like I said, I'll see you next week for my regular recording on Fridays. And be safe. For me, like I told you, I'm not going out. Well, you can't really go out anyway. You can't do shit. I know some of my friends are going out to a couple of hotels or taking people money. Taking people money and you can be with them, but there's a fucking curfew, so you gotta leave by 1:00. So you can't do shit. So I'm not going out. Even if it wasn't, I don't go out on New Year's anymore. That's just something that I don't do anymore. So whatever you do, whatever you going out or you staying in and you fucking, you getting some pussy or you getting some good dick, like I'm gonna give somebody some good dick. Whatever you do, you just want to watch Dick Clark. Well, not Dick Clark, but the special, whatever, or CNN. What's his name, Anderson Cooper, or wherever you watch, whatever you do, just enjoy it with family and bring in the new year of hope. That's all I want to say to you. I love you all. Thank you for supporting the XY show, and I will see you on the other side in 2021, and let's kick this fucked up 2020 away and forget it forever and bring in a new year of hope, which is 2021. Thank you all. And I want you always to remember that you cannot have love without X and Y. Happy New Year.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.